What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have the weekly reset for the 3rd of October in Destiny 2, and this week we get yet another new patch for the season, so we'll cover what changes Bungie have outlined there, and then as always we're going to jump in and check out the main rewards for the week, some of the featured items worth picking up, including vendor inventories, the Eververse refresh, and vendors like Banshee and ShADA-1, with a general roundup of what's worth knowing about the game as we jump into the reset. So as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you do, a rating below really does help us out, but without further delay, let's get into it. And so firstly today, to cover the changes in update 7206, Bungie say for seasonal content and the Spire of Savathûn, they've removed the mention of matchmaking in the legend difficulty option, so of course matchmaking isn't a thing, but it did say it was a thing, so no longer does it say it's a thing, and of course it isn't. On top of that though, for the exotic mission rotator, for Seraph Shield they fixed an issue where players going through the teleporter early were not receiving rewards at activity completion. And then for raids and dungeons, for Crota's End, they say players who completed the Crota's End challenge mode during the first 48 hours have been granted the Broken Throne emblem, and acquiring the emblem will complete the All for One and Superior Swordplay triumphs, so it's good that we finally got a fix for that. And then for weapons, they fixed an issue where Delicate Tomb was not receiving unstoppable rounds when the perk is active for fusion rifles. On top of that, there is weapon tuning for checkmate only, and we can see they've increased the damage penalty for Devil's Ruin, Fighting Lion, and bows. The specific numbers are on screen right now, they did outline these in the TWAB the other day. They've also reduced the damage penalty on sidearms, SMGs, and scout rifles, but increased the bonus damage for auto rifles and pulse rifles, as well as a reduction for the damage bonus on hand cannons, but they also corrected an issue where Vex Mythoclast was benefiting from bonus damage for special ammo fusion rifles. Finally though, for abilities for Strand Titan and Banner of War, they've made some adjustments to visuals. That should be a visual only change, and for UI and UX, they added a tutorial on how to crush Hive ghosts inside of the Lucent Hive story mission from the Timeline Reflection quest. So a few patch changes in that update today, let us know if any stand out to you, and now let's get on to the rest of the gameplay stuff for the week. And so starting out initially, we have Infamy for the taking, and we get bonus Gambit ranks all week long, so if you want to work on that, it's a good time to dive into Gambit. And then moving over to the Eververse store for the week, as always, we will focus on Bright Dust items, and on the front page, we have the T-Ball exotic emote, which is 3,250 Bright Dust, so there's a quick preview of that one. Additionally though, we have the All-Terrain Explorer. This is an exotic sparrow from back in Season of the Seraph, and this one is 2,500 Bright Dust. Quick look at the trail right there on that one as well. And then we have the Champion Entrance Transmat effect available this week, so quick preview of this one. As always, these cost 450 Bright Dust. And then we have the Transcendental Ambition shader available on the front page right here from back in Season of the Seraph. As always, all of these are 300 Bright Dust. Additionally though, to the front page we also have the Solar Shrapnel shader available this week. Moving to the second page of Bright Dust items though, we've got the Wicked Taunt rare emote available for 400 Bright Dust, so a pretty interesting one right there. On top of that though, there is the Hold That Pose legendary emote, which is 700 Bright Dust this week. And then there is the Saturnid Shell exotic ghost right here for 2,850 Bright Dust. That is a new one this season, the sort of Lucent Moth vibe going on right there, so a cool one to grab if you haven't already. There is also the Pronghorn exotic ship available right here for 2,000 Bright Dust this week, so you can grab that one if you need to add it to collections. And then there is the Externalization exotic sparrow, which is 2,500 Bright Dust, yet another one from back in Season of the Seraph right there. And for the weapon ornament this week, we have the End of an Era ornament for the Last Word, which is 1,250 Bright Dust, so perhaps if you missed out on this one in previous seasons, you can grab it this time around. Then there is the Stasis Projection Ghost Projection here for 1,500 Bright Dust this week. And for the second page featured shaders, initially we've got Amethyst Veil. All of these once again are 300 Bright Dust. Additionally, there is the Vibrant Medusa shader available this week, which is incredibly green, but also the Carbon Blood shader available on the second page here as well, if you fancy some red and black action. Then there is the Heat Shielded shader here also, which is a pretty cool one. I need to grab that one myself. But additionally, there is the Nightmare Emergence Transmat effect. Once again, all of these are 450 Bright Dust in the store. Then there is the Harpy entrance available this week as well. It's skipping the first bit when I open these up, initially right there. But very finally, there is the Resurrected Shadow available this week too, pretty cool darkness-themed transman effect. So let us know if you plan to pick anything up from the Eververse store this week down in the comments section. Next up though, let's get on to Banshee's featured weapons right here. So for the front page, for the moment, we've got Whispering Slab with Quick Draw as well as Vorpal Weapon. And then we've got the Retrofit Escapade machine gun here with Field Prep and Vorpal Weapon. There's also Night Watch with Rapid Hit and Moving Target. And then the Enyo D with Encore and Multi-Kill Clip, as well as the Fugue 55, which has got 4th times the Charm and Focused Fury. Moving over to the second page though, we've got the Sununa S16 sidearm with Perfect Float and Golden Tricorn, as well as the old Sterling Auto Rifle with Slideways and Harmony. Then there's Funnel Web with Subsistence and Thresh, as well as the Staccato 46, which has got Shoot to Loot and Adaptive Munitions, but then the Nasreddin Sword with Burst Guard, Wellspring and Surrounded available right now, plus the Geodetic HSM Sword, which is Balance Guard with Energy Transfer and On Guard in the traits. But of course, Banshee's weapons and perk rolls will change throughout the course of the week, so be sure to check in. Very finally though, as we check in with ShADA-1 down here in the annex for the armor, right here initially she's got the Retrograde set. Of course I'm on the Titan, but if it's stat rolls you're after, you can check in on your various characters to see if you get lucky this week. But for featured shaders, of course these cost 10,000 Glimmer, and this week she's got the Valkyrie Zero from back in the Warmind era. I don't believe that she's sold this one previously, so might be worth grabbing right there. There is also the Kairos Bronze shader from back in the Curse of Osiris, as well as the New Monarchy Diamonds, which of course is an older New Monarchy faction shader. So if there are any of these that you want to pick up, it's a good time to visit ShADA-1. Final bits to round up right here though, and for the season story quest this week, we should see the finale for the season, so these will be the last steps in the weekly story quest. And after completing all of the steps in the Bladed Path, we should unlock the Laminos Exotic Sparrow, so that's a cool one to look out for this week. But also, of course, we get the refresh on Crota's End. Now that it has boosted Essence of Oversoul drops, a lot of players will be unlocking Necrochasm in the next week or so. But also on the subject of raids, Root of Nightmares is featured as a farmable raid for the week, and that means the Conditional Finality exotic should be a farmable encounter drop from Nezarec, and that's the first time this has happened, so it's certainly a good time to jump in and try and pick that one up if you haven't got it yet. Keep that in mind, but additionally, the Nightfall this week will be the Lightblade, and Loaded Question is the featured Nightfall weapon. There's also the Grandmaster catch-up node available this week, as well as the Adept variant of Loaded Question, so there are a good few things to go after on that front as well. But very finally, for the featured Lost Sectors this reset, today we get Vel's Labyrinth dropping exotic legs. Then it'll move over to Exodus Garden 2A on October 4th, dropping exotic gauntlets. October 5th will see Sepulture, dropping exotic chest pieces. And then we get Extraction on the 6th, dropping helmets. Metamorphosis on October 7th, dropping legs. October 8th will be K1 Revelation dropping gauntlets, and finally, for the 9th of October, it'll be K1 Communion dropping exotic chest pieces. And for today guys, that is what we have to round up in this video, so as always I hope it's been useful, and if it has, a rating below really helps us out. Also be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you up to date with more Destiny content. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in today, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome week.